beginning the recording. Yep. Cool.
Okay.
We're live.
So welcome everybody. Welcome to Diversion in it. Today we have Jeremy with us, and before I give any introduction, it would not suffice for the work he has been doing. So Jeremy, I'll allow you to speak for yourself. So how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. Thanks. How are you guys?
Yeah, we are absolutely
we are
fine.
great. We're fine as well.
Yeah.
Cool.
So can you please tell us about yourself, like what the work you have done about yourself and the work that you do right now? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I'm Jeremy. I'm French. I'm the founder of Nas.ai. And I'm originally not the guy that was supposed to be in data or data science. I'm more like a creative. And I ended up working in data after my studies in business school because I had to find a job anyway. Music or art will not like bring you the job that your dad wants you to do. So at that point, I was like, okay, I'm going to go into finance. It was 2009, and I don't know if you guys were here to remember, but it was the financial crisis, and at that time, I entered this space and not knowing really what finance was about. But I really deep dive into the subject, and I realized that data was very, very important in the field. So quickly, I came from Excel, VBA, PowerPoint presentation to Python and Jupyter notebooks. And this really changed the way I was working. So basically, very old school way, Excel, spreadsheet and all that, not automated, very hard to like
manage,
to understand and manage. And Jupyter notebooks and Python, which were really much better in the sense like you can write the code and you can write the text, so you can document better your work and also automate it more easily. So this is how it got started with NAS actually, because I had this idea of, Jupyter Notebook is really a great tool. Everybody's using it, even in academical space. So I started creating my company on that and was selling services for business people that didn't know code, but I was doing this code for them, and I was dealing with IT people and technical teams in their company. So I work for a big luxury brand here in France as an agency on retail companies, industry also. And basically this was my first days in the entrepreneurial space. So I moved from an analyst, financial analyst, to an entrepreneur a few years back. And slowly we were trying to like figure out how we should like do a product with Jupyter notebooks, because we were not able to automate those notebooks. You always have to deploy a server. You always to have like knowledge in deployment and DevOps and engineering. Like we were coming from the business, remember? So we were just having those skills in Python where we were able to write rules for the data to be like transformed into an indicator. And so like we figured out like Netflix was doing the job. They were actually using Jupyter notebooks to get all the data they were gathering from all the devices we are watching Netflix on. And we figured like this thing was open source. So we included into Jupyter notebooks services that Netflix was developing, but we made it accessible through low code formulas. Like we didn't have, like we were in this design mindset where you want to have minimal number of lines of code to make your deployment and to make your thing running in production. So this eventually became NAS, Notebook as a Service. And this is how it all got started. So NAS is a Jupyter Lab instance, very, very faithful. It's exactly what you have on your local computer. But we have added those microservices like scheduling, like webhook, like notification, asset sharing, and a bunch of templates, which is the main focus that we're having right now after 1 year, 1 year after the launch, where we want to become the biggest data science template library for anyone starting in data science. So yeah, that's pretty much the story. We have now more than 2,500 users in 75 countries, something like that. So it's kind
that's
of
nice.
growing.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, it's cool. In 1 year, it's a good thing, and a few thousand stars, a few hundred stars on our repository on GitHub. So if you want to check it out, I will also share the links, and feel free to add your star to the repo, and watch out this repository, because it's somewhere where we really want people to like get this space where they can start data science project, not from scratch, not from zero, not from some Stack Overflow code that you copy paste and you don't know if it works, or some article and you don't know if it works. Like we want things to be like, we want things to be working in one click, like, and then you can iterate. So the whole idea, and maybe this is where we should go in this meeting, is like how those templates are here to actually facilitate people to get into data science project very fast. Yeah, I think this is the key here. Facilitate and democratize access to data science. So as a developer, even from business side or from technical side, you can really go to the core problem faster.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Yep, that was really a great answer, by the way. Yep, I completely get the like your vision, like how you changed your mindset from time to time, from years to years, and like building it up from completely from scratch. I mean, yeah, that's really I really
it's
appreciate
about like trying to fixing problem one step at a time.
Yeah.
Okay, so coming to the next question, you have been building and scaling NAS for quite some time now. So what is your experience like? Like, what is the experience of building a startup like NAS?
It's like Anna was saying, it's a lot of iterations. So you need to start very small at first. You need to like think minimalist. What is your minimal viable product, and how do you go on the market and test it fast? We were not having anything ready when we launched on Product Hunt last November 2020. Like it was, we didn't have a payment gate. We didn't have like a proper like acceptation for users. So we were all doing this manually, but we launched on Product Hunt anyway. At that point where we knew that the core features were here, the thing that we wanted to validate were here. So if the people would be like ready to like sign up and see for themselves how the project will grow, they will do it. And so the first day we got 400 users signing up when we launched the product. And at that point we knew that we had to work with the users and understand what their needs were. So I know that a lot of people are waiting before launching. You will crash your launch anyway. That will be like miserable anyway.
It's completely fine, it's completely all right.
It's completely fine. So the thing is, get some traction, get some people, get the 10 first users, get those 10 first users in, and then you will work with them, understand what they need, and build something that is really missing on the market and not something that you think is good.
Okay. I mean,
so it's all about finding the right people at the right time, and iterating your idea over and over again until you find that sweet spot of launching the product.
Exactly, because you see, at the beginning for us, it was just about scheduling notebooks. How do you schedule Jupyter notebooks? Like I was in my computer, my local computer. I was like, hey, I want this to run at 9 a.m. in the morning. Send me a report. Send me, I don't want to deploy any server. I just want this to run and very simple. So I want just to put my cron task argument and be like, hey, this can run, and that's it. I don't need any.
This kind of thing is already like I have seen this thing in Kaggle, like like whenever like I'm doing some competitions or something in Kaggle, so there I can do some scheduled run. So there's some like I can do it like, and also I can do it regularly, and it can also send me the reports. So like so like what's different in NAS? Like what does a new thing is there in this? Like I completely understand it automates a lot of things, automates the Jupyter notebook. So what extra things does it carry?
It's very different from Kaggle in the sense that we are 100% Jupyter instance. We didn't do anything on the front end. It's just backend microservices that we're providing. So
Okay.
you feel like you're in your Jupyter Lab instance, but you have those extra features that you can write inside the notebook and not through the UI. This is another point, Guy, of how to grow this product. We didn't have to do any front end at the beginning. We just worked on the microservices below and provided this line of code, nas.scheduler.add. You put into parentheses your cron task, and then you press play and it runs. So it's like very also minimalist in the way. It's very grassroots thing. It's coming back to abstraction of complicated code that is normally like this much lines of Python you need to run somewhere, etc. You want just to make simple approach and abstract it. And then we grew the thing. We added some UIs to get more information on the jobs in production. Slowly we got into like refining the product and building more stuff. And now we are at that point where we have an infrastructure running in the cloud, like Google Colab. We are providing this for free. We have these microservices to run in production the notebooks, like scheduler, webhook, notifications, sharing assets, all that stuff around it. And we have also drivers that are written to quickly connect to APIs, also with one line of code, plus those templates. So there is infrastructure, features, drivers, templates, and all this make it a coherent platform for you to create your data product very, very fast.
So it's like a one-stop solution for all our data needs.
Kind of, yeah. It's the idea of how can I do everything from my notebook when I'm a data guy, and I don't have time to go into the complex technical deployments and stuff. I just want to get this running and serve the data to my end users.
Alrighty. I mean, yeah, that was really great. But yeah, can you just tell me, since I got you, you're building this this idea from a long time, and it's approximately an year, you're building NAS. So can you tell me how was the work culture in NAS? Yeah,
it's
even more
because it started it started in 2016 when I just saw the Jupyter notebooks. It was just rising. It was the beginning of this.
Yeah.
Then I was having this in the back of my hand, this is a cool thing, but it's missing some stuff. I need to build bots. How can I do bots? And how can I do automated stuff? And so it slowly evolved, but you see, it's about just finding the moment where you think it's good enough to solve the first problem.
Okay. So can you please tell me how is the work culture in your company, in NAS? How is the work culture?
Yeah. So it's all a remote first company first. So I was so I'm gonna tell you this story quite funny with when I changed our job from corporate world to entrepreneur. I got the chance to apply to Stanford University, and I made 1 year there as a student on the program called LEAD. LEAD is called it's like a famous program for postgraduate folks. And the first thing they tell you is talents will be everywhere in the world, so you need to deal with talents everywhere. We were 150 people in the promotion, and we were all being in India, in Asia, or far Asia, Japan and all that, and then South America, and everybody is working from different time zone, different places, different family situation. So I got this at this point. It go into my head, and I'm like, hey, if I'm doing a startup one day, or if this startup is popping up, I just want people to be working and dealing from wherever they are, because as they were rightfully saying, talents are everywhere, and you need to adapt to talents more than anything else now. And so if they have a family culture where they just can work from 12 p.m. to 10 p.m., that's fine. You need to adapt to cultures and stuff, and it doesn't need to prevent you from doing a good job. So the culture is about remote first and async also. So not so many meetings. We just work with good tool called Notion. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, Notion. I'm
we,
a big fan of
we
Notion.
do use it a lot of
Yeah, like for
throughout
keeping
the
notes, structuring all those stuff. Yeah, we love
Yeah.
Notion.
Yeah. It's a really, really cool tool. I don't know. We wouldn't be able to like work the company out without this thing. It's like really enabling us to go fast, very organized, and so you can
It's very
focus.
powerful.
Yeah.
It's really very powerful.
Yeah. So yeah, basically everything comes to a tasks board. All our tasks are gathered there. Even tasks coming from GitHub, because we have interface between NAS and so we use NAS to organize our whole like automated like workflows at NAS. You know, we use our own product to like automate our stuff, and everything comes down in a Notion task, and then it's assigned, and we have reports in there, we have meeting notes in there, we have like everything. So if I'm not in a meeting, I can still have the meeting notes because the notes are in the meeting part. You know, if I don't know the task that I need to do, I have all those tasks ready in my board. You know, everything is organized in such a way that you don't need to make meetings all the time to get things done.
All right.
So it sounds pretty interesting to be working in NAS. So just because you mentioned Stanford, so can you let us in on the time you spent back there, and like what was your experience studying in Stanford?
It was a remote program as well first.
Okay.
So I went there, but afterwards, it's like a gathering afterwards. So
okay.
But the thing is, the good thing is that every week on Wednesday you have something to give, like a work to do, and you have this small team with you. So coming back to what they were saying like, yeah, we don't care about like how much time you got working together. The thing is, you need to deliver every Wednesday. So manage your workflow and not be too ambitious on delivering. Like coming back to the first point we got, like don't wait until it's perfect. It's never gonna be perfect. Just go out there, put some work on, you know. And I'm advocating for the same thing right now because all those templates that we are building with the community, because every project NAS is open source, and all those templates are created by people like you guys that wants to do a template, they want to promote it to the world. So we are building this whole collaborative factory of data science templates. So it's about going out there, promoting your work, making sure you're seen. And this is what NAS is ultimately want to do with everybody willing to like contribute in the project. So it's about promoting your work and deliver as fast as you can, because you need to be visible and you need to raise attention from the market.
Yes. Yep. Like we have to say like how much value is it is adding to a to a developer, so or any user. So I hope that's what like your vision is, right? And
yes.
Like since you talked about open source, like your project is completely open source, and I did visit your repository, I saw your organization. Like, can you please tell me like what are your views on open source, like particularly on open source?
Yeah, but I'm a big advocate of open source, like all the way. Open source is the base of everything. It's like Mother Earth for software. Everybody's like building on top of open source, you know. So it's so important. Like everybody should contribute to open source. It's our duty as a citizen and learner. We all learn by free code, free videos, free whatever. So it's about giving back to communities, to people working. Free software is important, and then it can first it's a duty for me, like my opinion. Second, it's so good to provide attention and visibility to your work.
Exactly.
It's so powerful.
It brings transparency,
transparency, but also interest from people. Oh, you're contributing to open source. Tell me more. Tell me more. Tell me, what are you doing? Like, what is it about? Can I use it? Can I see it? Can I? What are you meeting with people? Are you people are getting curious about open source because
you also get to meet this amazing community of developers out there. You get to bond with people and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, Also,
And even
people ask.
not developers, it can be like open source is not only for developers. You can have people
Absolutely,
writing
absolutely.
documentation. You can have people
Documentation
make
is a big factor out there.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
it's
I mean, it's
huge.
all about how much value you can add to that project or to that organization that who are having so many open source projects. For example, NAS.
Yeah,
So yeah,
yeah, definitely. It's about like, hey, how do we bring our brains together to make cool stuff that we can all reuse and make, because at the end of the day, NAS is about those templates ready to use to like automate stuff. Maybe
hmm
you guys know Zapier or stuff like that, right?
like
Zapier, do you know this
I've
automation
I've
tool?
heard of it though, not used it, but I've heard of it.
It's
yeah.
like basically an automation tool, but it's no code. So it's
Okay,
the whole idea is like you plug your Google Sheet to your Notion, but without like it's not you can't even see the code.
I
So
mean,
NAS is
there is
also
no API.
providing
There is no.
API to API, but
Okay.
NAS is providing this open source alternative to this because you can also like see the code and have a notebook in the middle, so you can write your own rules in Python. You can customize it. Then you can add some graphs, some analytics. Then you can add some, AI algorithm to make some prediction. There is, if you go check out the YouTube channel, I have this demo about like how can I automate an email every day at 9 to send like projection to my boss, like on prediction on the stock market. And this is like this all automated vision of a workflow from a notebook. That is something we want to play on. And so if you're an open source contributor, you just do one template, but then you have all the templates of everybody else you can use, because after a while you want to bundle those different templates together to create your own product. But you know that other people are using it, and you're not like lost in the in the Stack Overflow feed or in the Google searching, and you kind of have this layer of trust on the tools and on the people that have been building this before.
okay. So just because we're talking about open source and all organizations and stuff, so I'll just go overboard and ask: can we see NAS sometime in future in Google Summer of Code as an participating organization, or any other, let's say, any other open source program you may?
Yes, definitely. But as of for now, as I know that we're investigating this with one of our contributor. That is, she's an Indian woman. So she's working for that. Like, she has been looking into this. But so we are really, because we are just a small core team. We are 4 people at the core team. So we really rely on the contributors, on providing ideas and being like, hey, can I do this? Can I do that? Because it's really open. I mean, you can make, the thing about open source is you can make your space. You can define your
Absolutely.
space, where you want to contribute, what you want to bring. You can create your own job.
Exactly.
So
All right.
yes.
All right. Yeah. So like that's what, like just like Shopwell told. So I was just saying, like, you are having your community, and yeah, I did join. I'm a member of your Slack community. So like, yeah, I mean, can you please tell me how much value does a community provide, like, to any project, right? Like, you can. I hope you get it. Like, what is the importance of community learning in open source?
So we have this workflow. If you go on GitHub Jupyter.nas, you will go into project. In the project, you will have the community roadmap, and you can see that there is different. It's organized in a Kanban way, so it's a production line, backlog, in progress, review, and then it goes to publication, because we want to also go into publication on social media, etc. And so I think that this is very powerful, because you learn how a proper software grow. Meaning you have sprint, you have definition of scope. You can have one meeting if the task is not clear. You have reviews on your pull request when you're finishing your job. So you have the feedback. We provide, as a core team, we provide the feedback on the code, but we also prepare and scope the work before, very, very precisely, so that you don't have to like think too much about creating a branch, creating a new notebook, etc. This is all packaged before, and the whole topic is packaged before. So we really want to help people be the more focused that they can be on the quality of the code inside the model, because our templates are always done the same way. You have an input section, you have a model section, and you have an output section. It's a logic gate, right? From one thing to another. And we know the inputs, we know the outputs because we define it. It can be a graph, it can be sending some data to some Notion database, etc. And the model is the key. So the model section is about writing the good functions that will work together to make this thing work. So yeah, this is about packaging and preparing, scoping the work, making sure you can understand it fast and you can run and write the good code, and having reviews and then publication on the social media, which is like also important. Every little template that we bring and that we build is a piece of content we can do on different social media platforms. And as I'm telling you, as I was telling you before, it's about being visible, and we want to become this open source standard for data templates, for data science templates. So it's about like promoting a lot the quality of the work that contributors are doing. So you have feedback all the way, because even at the end, when you're posting, you have people commenting like, hey, is it good? Can I do it like this? If something is not working, the new ideas will come up. So learning is all the way. Like the feedback and the learning is all the way.
So you've been talking about visibility, and also we have seen many companies adopting NAS AI into their ecosystem. So how does that work? Like, for example, I've seen on your website, Amazon and Tesla are adopting NAS AI into their ecosystem. So how does that work?
That's funny because so for the story, some guy at Tesla just ended up using one of our templates and being like, hey, that's cool, guys. And that would help us a lot, like speed up the whole development process, because we are in the notebooks and we just want to send reports from the notebook. So unfortunately, those guys are not, they're using us, but they are not corporate clients, because they wanted this to be on their servers, to be honest. So this thing is not yet something we can provide, because we are focusing on the cloud right now, but we are like relatively close to them. So those companies who want to adopt NAS as a tool in their organization would probably go like those guys. They will enter for the templates. They will see one template, they will try it out. They will want to schedule their notebook, for example, and then move to like, hey, I'm consuming, because once you are using this template in the NAS infrastructure, we are like debiting some credits of your 100 free credits per month, and then you can top up some credits. And so the movement from free, like a collab environment, to like using it in production, having notebook schedule and everything, is about consuming more credits on the production features. So this is how it goes. Like we also have people from Sony Music. We also have marketing agencies. We also have like people from different size and teams. But it's always the same problem. It's like, I don't have time to take care of deployment, DevOps, and all this stuff. I just want to focus on the data science and on the code and on the automation, on the analytics, on the AI, on the ML. I can include and I can embed in my business process.
Yeah. All right.
I can basically keep aside all my hassle for deployment and DevOps part of things, and I can just concentrate on the data science and coding my
the research and
because you need to validate your idea is working before going into heavy technical investment.
Exactly.
You need to see if it's sticking or not in the hands of your end users. If you don't manage to do that, then you will spend so much money and time deploying, and this will not be useful. It will not be used. So this is all about that. And you know, NAS is helping on this whole workflow. And at the end of the day, you know, sometimes the process will just stay in NAS. It doesn't need to have some software engineering on top, because it's just working in NAS.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's an API you need to do, and sometimes it's another kind of app you need to do. You know, it's about just going fast to validate your ideas, and if you feel comfortable in that and you want to stay, you stay.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, exactly. So yep, we talked a lot about this. So yep, what I was asking, I had a question. Like it always strikes my mind every time whenever I listen to this. So I mean, how does such an institute like Stanford or any other institutes, like for you in your case it's Stanford. So it how does an institute like Stanford contribute to the growth that you have gained over the years right now? Right? Can you please tell about it? Yeah.
You mean on my personal mindset?
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
A lot.
How does it changed you as a person, right?
A lot. It changed me a lot. Really. They are like so like anticipating trends, and they're this whole remote thing of, you know, the story I told you about, like, hey, you guys need to deliver every Wednesday. We don't care if you like are in different places of the world. You need to deal with this because talents are everywhere. You know, this kind of mindset was back in 2017. Not even, you know, COVID was not there. You know, they were already having that vision of, hey, this is how it needs to be. So yeah, being around like people that have this forward thinking mindset is good. So it's always about anticipating the next trend and being sure you're at the right place at the right time when this thing happens, I guess. So yeah, this is why I believe that, like, be sure you surround yourself with people that are from different culture also, because it's very powerful. So, you know,
That diversity that you get, and
diversity, yeah,
and the exposure that you get. I mean,
yeah,
it's worth it.
diversity is key. Yeah, I think it's coming back to a very simple word. Stanford brings diversity of mindset and thinking together with people that are coming from different background, and this is what is the most powerful.
All right.
Okay, cool enough. Cool enough. So, Jeremy, can you just give us a brief idea, like what is the lead program that you were in Stanford? Like, what is it all about?
Oh, so it's about first understanding change and behavioral change in companies. So when you want to change something in the company, you need to go on a financial standpoint, return on investment. What is going to bring? Is it going to be some less expenses or more revenues that your project is going to bring?
Okay, cool.
So you first need to think about this, and then you kind of deep dive into how a project needs to be done, how people move their opinion from one point to another, how you need to, it's about change and how to infuse change and innovation into companies. This is the whole idea of the program I was in.
Okay, cool enough.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, I think Shopnil, that brings completely, you know, to the end
that
of
sums up everything we had to ask you, you know.
Yeah, but now we would like the audience to ask, like, if they have any kind of questions. So like, guys, if you have any kind of questions, you just raise your hand or write in the chat box, you know, like Jeremy is happy to answer that. So yep. So yep, anyone want to ask any question, like just raise your hand, or you know, or just write in the chat box, you know. Okay, so Harsh. All right, Harsh, I'm just giving you the permission to unmute. Yeah, Harsh, go ahead.
I wanted to ask, like, how do you make money by your new startup? Like, or how are you planning to make money by that startup you are working on it?
Yeah, good question. So the product is open source, but open source is not a business model, guys. Open source is a collaborative way of developing products.
Software, yeah.
And so many times people are confused about, like, hey, you're open source. So yeah, open source is the collaborative model that brings the product together, and this is free. But when you want to operate the platform, you need to have some kind of setup. You need to have some kind of security that the thing is working. So open source is also about having a way that is managed by the core team where you can feel secure and backed up. Because otherwise, if you're just using open source, you basically are free and you don't have the necessary support. You just have the community you can rely on. So once you are structured in a way that you have the community thing and you have the enterprise and business thing on the side, you can create business models. So then what is the choice you have? You have the SaaS model, you have the affiliate kind of model, you have different kind of model. Our model is the freemium model. So you enter for free, you consume the features, and once you are growing to more features, it means that you like the product and you make it work. Then you move to more credits, you buy more credits. And this goes from the free plan to the starter plan to the pro plan to the enterprise plan, and at the end of the day it's $600 per month per minimum fee for an enterprise business. So you can have this, you can build this monthly recurring revenue then at that point where your business is growing. So this is how we operate and how we make money so far is because people are just coming in, use the product, consume credits, want to buy more, and then eventually buy an enterprise plan.
All right.
Cool.
Okay.
But there is different other aspect that we want to work on is transforming this one day into a marketplace where we can also sell services associated with that from contributors that want to promote their work and say, hey, I've made this template, but I can also help you do that. So this would also be a way to monetize. And there is also sponsoring, because we are always trying to get some sponsors and we want to build some cool hackathons. So this is another way we are thinking about also, having some revenue stream on this side.
Okay. So there's one question in the chat box by Satish Bhagat that says, hey, Jeremy, how do you think NAS would affect students? That is, how would I add something new to a student's toolkit provided the present market is filled with various tools?
Yes. So for students, it's actually very simple. Most of us, even me as students, I saw Jupyter Notebooks and I didn't really use it, or sometimes I use it. I have this brief reminder of, hey, I saw that at that time. So we want to be like, we are very faithful to the Jupyter lab. We didn't change the front end. We just want to have the same kind of environment that when you are using it.
It looks familiar, It looks familiar.
Yeah, very familiar. And so we don't want to be this other new tool. It's just Jupyter with power features and templates. So it's not about like bringing a new tool to the market. It's like, how can I give more power to this tool that is the first step that I go to when I start doing this data science? So for students, it's about don't overthink too much the tools and the things and all that. What you need to do is an IDE or something that we can write code in it, notebooks, VS Code, whatever, and some place where you can run this code on schedule to make the machines work for you.
Yeah.
And don't overcomplicate your approach. You can solve so many problems already by just having code and a way to run it when you sleep, basically. So it's about bringing simplicity back to the minds of students, in my opinion, because it's easy to go very overwhelmed with all those tools, but it's not easy to show concrete work when you're promoting yourself for a new job application. But if you are using notebooks and you have templates and people can use it, then it becomes like, we want to put the students in this position where if they come to the employee or the application guy, they will be like, hey, you can check my work in NAS. I have a few templates there. You can just Google my name. I will be associated with those guys. My name is even in the documentation because we put the author on every template, so you can really see that the tool has the name of the guy referenced in there,
Yeah.
and be like, hey, you can check my work. I've done this thing about this template. You can even run it and it works. And can you imagine
Cool
the
enough.
difference from
Really cool.
now that people come like, hey, I've done this project and it's not able to be verified, to I go in this GitHub repository, I click on open in NAS, it opens the notebook and it runs, and I see the work of this guy that I've just in front of me, and we can talk about it. Like, hey, you did this function, but you know, it's nice, and how did you think about it? It makes it very concrete for students and probably interviewers. So we were really thinking this can be helpful for
Everyone, students as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like I can even get my work done fast, and I can also, you know, I can be
Showcase my work.
relieved enough that everything is documented well and it's available for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool enough.
All
Cool
right.
enough.
Okay, so let's move to the next question. I think there is someone else has raised hand, Shagnik. So yep, I have given you the permission to unmute, so you can ask a question. Yep, go ahead, Shagnik. Yep, you're audible. Yep, go ahead.
Sir, this company now, is it only technical company?
Shagnik, we can't hear your voice. Like, can you please check whether it's fine or not?
You might be having some microphone issues. If you can just write it in the chat box.
Yep, it will be great.
I have written
Shagnik, it will be great. I think if you write in the question in the chat box, right? I think there might be some net issue. It's completely fine, right? So yep, you can just write in the chat. Jeremy will be happy to answer that. So yeah. Anybody else want to ask? Like, you want to raise hand or something like that? Anybody else want to ask any questions? Like, it's completely fine. Or Shagnik, you can even ask your question in the chat box as well. So yep. Anyone want to raise hands or ask anything?
Guys, Jeremy is here. If you want to ask anything, it's a completely open session. You can.
Yeah.
Don't be scared, guys.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, yeah, nobody's gonna judge you. Like, it's everyone is same over here. So yeah.
I was checking the chat. There's
Sir, is it pure? So yeah, Shagnik has a question, sir. Is it purely technical or business related using data source or artificial intelligence? Data science, I think he meant data science, I guess.
Yeah, it's about both. It's about both, and it's at the end of the day, it's what you do in data science is about what is data science? It's about making data useful. So is it going to be for technical people, business people? This really doesn't matter, because what you want to do is it useful? So if it can go from, as I said, a simple automation, taking Google BigQuery data, transforming it and sending it to a MySQL database. This will have not any purpose on the business side. It will be purely technical. But after that, you have this other template that takes the SQL and that makes this a report, because the data that is in there is actually some data about like climate change, and you want to make a graph about show this to the world. So you will have some business purpose at this point, but it doesn't matter. It's really it's really a non-tagged approach. You templates are made for every kind of stuff. They need you have templates for resiliation of your phone bill, of your electricity bill. You have templates to write this letters. So it's the same idea. It's like how templates can be here to support ready to use code that people can reuse. It's about that. So then you can have basically automation, analytics, AI. It's all those three blocks that we are including in the templates. You can write the model you want, and it can do different stuff. So there is no boundaries.
It's open for all. Yeah. So I think, yep. Shopnil, do you have anything else, or audience? I'm just asking to the audience, like, if you have anything to ask, you can come, you can ask, or else like we'll move towards the end.
I can see the so we are everywhere, guys. We are in 75 different countries. So, and there is a lot of different Indian regions represented. Not so much this region you guys are but more in the south. So if you want to compete with the south, you're welcome.
Cool
You
enough.
guys are
Cool
you guys are on the
We are in the eastern part of India.
eastern part,
India.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So I guess that concludes this session.
Yeah.
Before we leave, we'll have a quick picture session that
Yeah.
we'll take. So guys,
Mhm.
if you're in a comfortable position and you want to turn your cameras on, you can turn your cameras on and we'll take a quick picture before Jeremy leaves.
Yeah. So like everyone, like I just request everyone, to just open your camera. We will take a quick selfie. And yeah, also one more thing. Last time, just I think I announced it already at the beginning that last time social media challenge winner is A3. So A3, if you are there, like you can just raise your hand, right? So yep, we'll be reaching out to you very soon for getting we will be giving you swags and all. So yep, for this also, like all you need to do is like take a screenshot and put it on social media, and just write what you feel, what you got, what value did you get from this session, right? And we'll be happy to choose you up. So all right, everyone.
And Arnab, just before we go into the photo session, there is one question in the chat box. Can you take that?
Yep. So someone, Samir, is like, you were talking about the validating our idea before doing technical investment on work. How we are going to validate our idea, Jeremy?
So our idea, referring to the ideas that, probably you guys would have. Okay, validation of ideas is about making sure that the output is useful. So you need to. It's not about you to decide if it's useful or not. It's about other people than yourself. So go and check out. If I ask people about, hey, is this thing going to be useful for you? And then build it for them, and you will find so much satisfaction in this. It's not about you, it's about how you solve the problem of someone else. It's gratifying, and it's also enlightening, because you have this mindset of solving problems and serving others with your skills. So I would really want you to think about this as you need to serve somebody. If it doesn't serve somebody, it's not validated enough.
All right. So there is another question. I'm really sorry, guys. So the next question is, sir, does NAS work in same model as big tech companies like Google or Microsoft?
Well, we are not Google, we are not Microsoft, guys. We're a bunch of French folks doing our way, into AWS and making this thing accessible. We want to be an alternative to Google Colab or this kind of solution, but still open source, still very grassroots, still connected to the community. Building templates, making stuff that is useful is our main goal. So we would just want to be not compared to those big techs. We are not those big tech companies. We are much more grounded and close to people,
All right.
Cool enough.
So yeah.
So we'll move forward. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I would recommend everyone. I would just request everyone to turn on your videos. Please turn on your videos, everyone. We'll take a screenshot, and yeah, I'll be sending it to your CRs or some people that we have from our team. They will send it to you in your group. So we have Harsh, we have Avinash, we have Chetak, and all the CRs of the different sections and community will also put this screenshot, so that you guys can able to post it in your social media, or you can even take the screenshot on yourself. So yeah. So at first we are going to take a normal position, stand still. So yeah.
So I'll take this screenshot in 3, 2, 1. Cool enough. Now.
Yep. And next one is just make any kind of signs that you want to make, anything like that.
In 3, 2, 1. Another one. Please hold on. There are a lot of people who have turned on the cameras. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Guys. And thanks, Jeremy. It really means a lot to have you here. It was really a great time, talking with you. I heard when I first saw your post on LinkedIn of NAS and all, so I got curious. Then I thought I think I should introduce this new tech to my community, to our community basically. So yeah, so that people get some value from it. So yeah. So yeah,
Thank
thanks
you
a lot.
so much. It
Thanks
was
a lot.
very good to meet you guys. And if you
Mhm.
are interested in contributing to open source, of course, you can join NAS community and chat with us. There is new templates to be built. There is a lot we have identified. So we have already a lot of useful template to build. So you can really get started. So go on our website, you create your free account, come and join the Slack. There is a lot of things to do, and we are really welcoming everybody. So like, feel free to reach out, guys, and go out there and don't be shy.
All right. So someone just said that can we have the GitHub link? Yep, I think I have. Yeah, I just saw it before, so I have saved this link. Yeah, and
Okay.
yeah, think, yeah.
So
All right.
thank you, Jeremy, for being with us and being with us in your busy schedule. I know it's early morning in Paris right now, I guess.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So thank you for being with us, and we hope to see you in some future session as well. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yes.
Thank you so
I'll be
much.
happy
And
to.
yeah,
Thank you.
and also everyone to the audience, like we are all having another session at 3 p.m. We are bringing the global community lead of Postman, Ali Mustafa, and he is one of like 2 times TEDx speaker. Then he has also he's one of the innovator at Intel. So yeah, that is also going to be a great API session. We will be talking about API, a lot of APIs. So yeah, and also there will be some
See you
insights.
guys there.
Yeah, see you guys there. And also thanks, Jeremy. It was really
Thank you so
great to
much,
have
Jeremy,
you.
for being
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, guys.
Yo.
It was great. Thank you.
Yo, thank you. All right, sir. We can end this session, I guess. Yeah.